welcome. I'm Rebecca Carner, Biofield tuner. This Biofield tuning is on the law of correspondence, and I'm really going to distill it down to just sort of one aspect of this all-encompassing principle. But first, I'd like to start with a little bit of sound. Wow, not with a misstrike. Ah, very interesting. Haha. There we go. Phew. Just arrive in whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching the recording. Just arrive and breathe and settle in. The only way to effectively co-respond is to be where you are. So welcome. Wow, you know, it's so interesting. Almost every time I do these YouTube lives, I've been doing shorter ones, and this is my longer format Wednesday one. And almost every time in the past week or two, that I've been doing these YouTube lives, when I connect in with the collective field, there is initially a really profound buffet of heat, which to me signifies people's either difficulty being where they are or resistance to being in their bodies. And this isn't a scolding and it isn't a judgment. It's a noticing and an attempt to, one of the talking points I wanted to cover today is to be able to change a thing. You have to identify a thing. You have to be able to name a thing, to shift a thing. Name it and really claim it, even if you don't like it. If you can't fully name it and claim it, this is a puck. I claim the puck. I'm no longer interested in the puck. Okay. Then, by so identifying, I can then do something different with said puck if I want to. So I talk about release of heat and acknowledge and really compassionately honor the buffet of heat that I feel, because people who are interested in this, the energy signatures that are agreeing to show up to these tunings of mine, past, present, and future, they're having moments of struggle, and I honor that, and I want to speak into it. Nice, yeah. Okay, I'm going to stop tuning for just a second and cover a few talking points. So I saw a very short form video on Instagram yesterday on the page We the Ether, if you want to look it up. And it was a man at the front of the classroom marking on a chalkboard, an actual chalkboard, around the geometry of two superimposed but different facing triangles, and he was discussing to the class the law of correspondence, as above, so below. And it was an incredibly potent and useful video describing a pervasive but often deeply nuanced principle, law, that all things are under its purview. And he went on to say that what is happening in our head is necessarily happening in our body. And what is happening inside our body is necessarily happening and playing out outside around us. And what is happening in the heavens is happening on the earth. and what is happening on the earth it's not just a reflection, but they are symbiotically connected. It is not a reflection, so I did this and so you do that. It's not like that. It's that if you turn things on the side, right, it's the infinity loop. One informs the other, which informs the one, which informs the other, right? So as above, so below, as within, so without. But then heavens and earth and everything can't not go together. Eileen McCusick, who is the founder of Biofield tuning, which is what I am among other things, but my biggest passion in this practice and the biggest technology that I use and leverage are along biofield tuning principles. She did on YouTube a Sonic Sunday this past Sunday, and it was on ancestral healing. And just as a tiny nugget in that, she talked about to change things out here, we have to change things inside, and that to change a thing, you have to identify a thing. And then as it turns out, I see this really succinct video on the law of correspondence. I have also been very vocal, both publicly and privately in session, about how deeply meaningful Gabor Mate's latest book, The Myth of Normal, has been to me recently. And it seems like all content that I am intaking are people at the top of their game or at mastery in their fields, be it business, medicine, psychology, child psychology, sort of corporate coaching. They're all saying the same things, which is a bigger, more complex and nuanced conversation is needed right now. And the playing field and the conversation topic that is being addressed is profoundly complex. But that we shouldn't be daunted and we shouldn't shy away from it just by mere complexity. But as the individual, it can be a little overwhelming. It's like, literally, what am I, what am I to do about any of that on the daily? These huge things that took so long in the building, how does this, in an interview I heard with James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, he said, one drop can't change the course of the Mississippi River. And I think often of that quote when I read these books and when I'm inputting current data, because that is how it feels. Like I'm a drop, I'm reading this book, it is so meaningful to me, and yet what it's addressing is the course of the Mississippi River. As it turns out, I'm from Louisiana, and I lived not far from the old bed of the Mississippi River. So while, yes, James Clear, I agree with you, one drop, in fact, cannot change the course of the Mississippi River, except I also know Rebecca Carner as a 100,000,000% undeniable fact that the Mississippi River has changed course. So it's doable, y'all. It's doable. So we're going to tune into this. So we are receivers, and we also are transmitters. transducers of light, of codes, and of information. So a receiver is exactly what it sounds like. Something's coming, I receive it. A transducer, for those of you who don't know, is a thing that both receives and transmits, but upon reception, it can edit, right? So there's a transducer has editing capacities in the interim between reception and expression, or expression and reception, right? There's wiggle room. Transducers have wiggle room. All right, so I just took a giant, big, deep breath to center my thoughts. You see, you can do that anytime. You can even do it on live recordings, right? Live television, so to speak, even though this is YouTube. So the reception of data, I do not mean media, even the quality media that I think that I'm inputting, right? That is still the formulation of somebody else. When I talk about receiving data, I am talking about the receivers that we are truly of that which we don't fully understand. Some people don't like the word God, spirit, source. Some people don't have a huge handle on their own spirituality concretely or don't have words from it, but it is a thing. And we all are receiving all the time. And when you focus on your reception point being from the formless, all that is, into that what I am experiencing as self, rather than the things that we input visually or audibly around us. I'm talking about what we get from the big space. I really do envision it like a kitchen funnel, right? Coming in, and it comes in our crown chakra, and it comes in. So what I really want to tune into here, so sort of the convergence point of the funnel through the crown, if you imagine it. So many people postulate that the fontanelle on a baby, the unclosed formation hole of the cranium when you're born, is representative, is a physical visible representation of every person's crown chakra. So if you imagine that as the open end of the funnel, right, then the sort of convergent point where everything comes together and then starts to be able to drop down and be metabolized and used in our system is right behind the eyes, right, the third eye space. And I really want to, because if we try to figure out how to solve all the things, that's not gonna go well. Because there's a lot of brilliant people thinking a lot of brilliant things, and shit's on a downward slope, and it's also on an upward slope, but things are playing out very messily right now. So give all of this firepower a rest and focus on the formless, I don't know what, that's actually inherently always arriving to us. And let's breathe in and focus on the light point of like the ping, right? The Sistine Chapel, right? The little point where the fingers touch, right? So like where all of this, I don't even know, comes in, doop, and right where it gets tight enough to be able to be ingested by this dense meat suit, there is a spark right there. Yes, right. Gosh, good. No, higher. Here we go. Yep, yep, yep. Let's focus on the light. Let's focus on the light behind the eyes, the light of inspiration. light of comprehension, comprehend, comprehensive, all. And your brain lobes on either side, almost like the Princess Leia jelly rolls on the side of her hairdo. It's like the lobes of the brain on either side of this light point are like, wait, but I don't know what it is yet. Wait, I haven't figured it. It's okay. It's okay. It's good. It's good. It's okay. It's okay. Focus on the light. Yeah, boom. Ooh, good. 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 And then if we can breathe that down, good. Wow, I really... Again, to not know what it is, to not even really know what's happening, not only is that okay, that's the only way. That is the only way. That's right. Focus on the light. You know, that light, that point of light is the wiggle room. It doesn't represent it. It is the space. It is the space. It is... I think it's a... Shoot, I can't remember who it is. Oh, Viktor Frankl? No, I can't remember. That there's this space between an event and the reaction, and that our lives are made in that space, and that is absolutely true. Right, and that light, I just briefly read over some of my talking points. You know, here's one of my biggest takeaways, and I bring this up not to be daunting, but again, to properly identify and state and honor the circumstances is the only way you can effectively work in said circumstances, right? To work all day in the blazing sun doing yard work and to not honor that by having a lot of water available to you is not appropriate. It's not gonna go well. So my biggest takeaway from the Gabor, one of my biggest takeaways from the Gabor Mate book is that necessarily our systems have been hijacked biologically, psychologically, not by histories, by families of origin and communities of origin. So not only have they been necessarily hijacked, they are currently and purposefully and intentionally being ongoingly hijacked all the time. And here's the winner, winner, chicken dinner, also truth, is that, and still we have agency. We have effect. We have sovereignty and intentionality and energy and power. Not power over, not might makes right power, but we have empowerment by being embodied. which is really kind of what empowerment as a necessary law, principle. My heart beats because it has electricity running through it. I have embedded power in me that while somebody can in fact knock the life out of me in any number of ways very easily, while it's in me, it is 100% at my disposal and under my governance. Yes, wow. Oh, oh, wow, wow. Somebody's going to watch the recording of that and have never really experienced themselves in that way. And it's going to be really touching. Thank you. I'm so happy that was meaningful. Wow. Right. And if we implant more of that light, we know some of the ways that we are hijacked, and we are completely yet unawares of some of the ways that we have been hijacked and are being hijacked. And even at that, we still have affect agency to affect, to positively and beneficially affect that what is outside of us and shift what is outside of us by inserting that light, this perception. We can, yeah, and yeah. So it's not just about what you think, and it's not about judging your own actions or thinking I need to recycle more or little things like that. I am talking about more impactful, more impactful, and yet also more nuanced things like, can I insert more life in the way I perceive how I see the world? Okay, that's clear as mud, right? If I can be so bold as to curse on this thing, that's like nuanced as fuck, isn't it, right? Can I insinuate a moment of wiggle room light to a well-worn belief pattern that I have? Well, it's always going to be this way. Well, the government sucks. Well, this, that, all such and such people are always going to be this way. It's never going to get any better. It's been bad for so long. How do we blah blah? Whatever it is, man. Let's come back. Let's come back. Let's come back to this light between the eyes, right? When we were getting the conical effervescent light train into our kitchen funnel and having it, bling, right, come back to that nexus point right behind the eyes of light. Let's return to that. Because when I got verbose and concrete on negative and limiting beliefs, man, those sounded super familiar. Let's bring the light into there. This is what I'm talking about. This is what's going to change what's happening outside. Sue, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. But I don't know how. I don't see how. Doesn't matter. Don't have to see it now. Keep your eye on the light, right? Keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the prize light and insinuate the light, and then you will start to see more light. There will be a lag time while things are materializing and dropping down into reality at an incredible rate nowadays. There's still going to be a lag time, right? That's how this works. To make something, states of water, right? Everything, right? We are so much water, 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 water. Okay, so to boil water takes a minute, or it takes however many minutes, right? but then to collect up water vapor, right? Because so much of what I'm talking about, insinuating this point of light, it's like working with water vapor. If you've ever gotten steam burned, you know that that is for real, for real. And it's largely invisible and you can pass your hand right through it and it's really hard to catch, but boy, it'll burn you. And let me tell you, water vapor is for real. So the distillation, right, the collection and the distillation of water vapor back into a drop takes a second. It doesn't happen immediately. But it is sure as shooting gonna happen if you set up the circumstances for that to be so. That's right, there, good. Wow, again, the buffets of heat. I know it's daunting, it's okay, and it's not all on you. It isn't your fault, and it's not any of ours responsibility alone, right? It's not our fault. It's only our responsibility for our own input into that. And like zero, nice, zero perfection needed. It isn't a call to that. It's just an intention and a return to intention. Right. Yeah. And the number one way to insinuate more light is through delight. Is through delight and joy and ease and rest. More space is created through rest than through the contraction of effort. Yeah, that's right. Right, and part of the hijacking message that we're perpetually and continually being hijacked around is selling us the lie that the opposite of that is true. And you know, I'm for one in my small corner of the interwebs here saying, I see you, that's BS. The opposite is true, and I'm going to speak to that. So here I am speaking to it. I think that a Toni Morrison quote that I read yesterday is, and I'm quoting her, my idea, to me, freedom isn't the absence of responsibility. It's that we get to, it's the freedom to choose what we take responsibility for. And one of the word plays in Gabor Mate's book is response ability, our ability to respond to a thing, right? So, man, it is just cooking hot in this field, right? Because so, like, the people who watch my videos, like, if anything, we're the over responsiblers, right? We're the over functioners. We're the people who think if you know, if we keep paying it forward to our own depletion and detriment, that maybe in that way we can make things better or we can be good or whatsoever. It's such a bigger dance than that, what I'm describing. So to the people who tend to watch my videos, you don't have to over-responsible to embody these concepts, this tuning, right? Just return to the light. So many of you, if you return to the light, you'll see, in fact, that it's not for you to do more. It's for you to ease off the gas pedal on yourself and allow yourself some more lived wiggle room and joy and ease. And you aren't good because you do good. You are good because you are good. No proof needed. No proof needed. No proof needed. You don't. God, I just felt like this cosmic hug. I just want to speak the words lonely. I have read them, and by people I know and have come into direct contact with in the past week, the amount of times that loneliness has been spoken into. People have said to my face, I am lonely. I feel lonely. Part of the ease, part of the cultivation and honoring and return to this point of light is, I will tell you this, however you can appropriately and honorably find your next hug, ask for it. Can I give you a hug? Do you have a hug that you can offer me? Somebody who's safe, who you think it'll be well received, or who you can receive it well from, or whatever. Like, let's up the hug factor. Yeah. Yeah, because this little light of mine that lives here in the heart gets fed by that. But we're really focusing here because just kind of like a reverse thermometer, right? The only way this little light of mine in here gets amplified and nourished, it comes from here. So we're at this sort of antechamber. Oh wait, that's also light. Yeah. If you want the cosmic teacher's edition, guess what? The answer is it's all light. Prana, it's all light. It's all light. Energy, it's light. Spirituality, it's light. Yeah, the answer is light. There's some metaphor and joke about it's elephants all the way down. And that, I think that is true. And because elephants are light, oh wait, because it's all light. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Elephants are light. Oh, God bless them. They're so lovely. All right. Right before I wrap up, I'm going to tune with these slightly higher frequencies. I'm just going to retrain, right? Retrain our attention whilst retraining our brain, whilst retraining the patterning of our belief systems and our perceptions, by retraining the input-output valve of our transducer function. Yeah. Okay, that overwhelmed everybody. That's okay. Stick with it. Focus on the light. If you can, if you're like, Rebecca, I can't see light, I'm not getting this. If you imagine softening the muscles from behind your eyebrows and softening the tissues of the back of your eye socket. When I say the light here, I mean that, right? I mean that. Breathe into the back of your eyes. Soften that tissue. Ease the brow. Good. Nice. Good. Because to reduce that contraction, to feel that softening, that's space. That's wiggle room. That's it. You did it. Oh, it can't just be that easy. Yes, 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 it can. Yes, it can. It is. And just play. Just keep doing it and see when you can. See if you can add that little bit of softness to an easy, loving gratitude thought. See if you can make it just zhuzh it a little bit more. Having a negative, crunked up, contracted, bitter, angry, hurt, disappointed thought, see if you can insinuate just a little more softness. Light is soft. Light is soft. That's how you do it. Each thought, because the thoughts are the predecessors to the words, to the saying. And the thoughts and then the subsequent words, then those propel the actions. Those make the doing. Those make the concretized reality. Start here. This is the quickest. Yeah. Nice. This is how you effectively engage with the law of correspondence as honorable participant. I could weep. I'm so moved. It's been a joy and an honor. I really like this. There was a whole lot going on. Thanks for joining me, regardless of when you watch this. Thank you. Be well. I'm here. Let's correspond. Oh, look at the rainbow. Okay, okay. Hugs, hugs, corresponding hugs to all. Thank you.